Mother, I am a robot. What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're going to the future and taking a look at Mother / Android, which is a Netflix movie. It's a horror, thriller, sci-fi, fantasy. It's a lot. It kind of fits into a few brackets, not gonna lie. It is a movie which came out in 2022, and it does star Chloe Grace Ramirez, I think that's her name. I do apologize if I did say her name wrong, but she does star as one of the main characters in this movie, and this movie feels like an eternity, but it's not. It's only like an hour and 43 minutes, but it feels incredibly long. It is one of those movies which keeps going on and on and on and just drains your entire existence. It feels like it's taking energy watching this movie. And without any further delay, let's quickly head over to what Google has to say so we can get into this review. So, Mother / Android is a 2021 thriller sci-fi movie and has a 32% Rotten Tomatoes, a 3 out of 5 on Common Sense, and a 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb. You can only watch this on Netflix, and pregnant Georgia and her boyfriend Sam flee their country in a desperate search for safety as the world battles artificial intelligence. So how the story opens up is with Georgia being pregnant, and she, tells her boyfriend, and then she goes to a party, and her boyfriend is being overly protective, being, hey, you shouldn't be drinking, but we can go anyway. And then the robot butler's like, happy Halloween, and then they're like, it's Christmas. Subtle foreshadowing that something's not right, something's a little wrong. These robots aren't 100% correct, and are going to be a little bit of a mischievous thing coming very, very soon. So that happens. A giant blaring sound comes off the phone. Phones explode, TVs explode, killing people in the process, sending robots into a psycho frenzy, killing everybody and everyone they come across. Time passes, and they're sleeping in tents, sleeping outside, traveling, trying to get to Boston, to get on a ferry to go to Korea, I think, to be in a safe haven away from, these robots. And they find an army camp who takes them in, and they want to ride to Boston. So to get there, they say, hey, beat me in a fight and you can go. So our main dude beats this army guy in a fight, and because he beats him, they get kicked off the base, so they have to travel all by themselves to get there. She is 9 months pregnant. She is about to give birth any day now. And they go and they find a farmhouse, and he fixes a motorbike, and the motorbike is, there to get them across no man's land, to take them to Boston so they can get on this boat before shit gets real. So they get on this motorbike and travel. Unfortunately, the robots attack them, and Georgia gets off the bike, and motorbike boy Sam leads them away so they won't get Georgia and baby. George is then found by a guy who takes Georgia back to the lab to give her a basically stealth suit against these robots, and she goes, saves Sam. Sam then has to have his legs amputated, and they then go and, run away from a robot because the guy that helped her was a robot, and they basically attack the army camp that they're in. And they manage to run to the ferry, give up their child, and that is the end of the movie. With them two living their life, continuing on here, waiting and hoping that their child is going to be safe. Other than that, that's the movie, that's the plot line. It's not very interesting, it's not very exciting. They try and build tension and threat with her being pregnant, and they try to do a little bit of what Quiet Place does with having her have to be quiet when she's giving birth because the robots are around. And it tries to do a little bit of a plot twist with the guy that she took the ghillie suit off was a robot and she just couldn't tell. And the AI is advancing to, betray the humans and learning how to find the human bases. Honestly, the reveal was cool, but I didn't really care at that point. The movie had already gone on for so long, and it didn't really impact much. We didn't really get to see the amount of damage that we saw the robot actually cause. It was just kind of happening in the background, and these two escaped. We had a little bit of a tension moment where she was sneaking around the house. Again, I didn't really care. She just snuck around pretty easily, and the only time that the robots found her was when this dickhead captured guy, someone that was already captured, started yelling and screaming because she refused to help him. And I don't get what the point of that was. If she wasn't going to help you, she wasn't going to help you. You screaming and getting them killed is quite selfish of you. Gonna be honest, not gonna lie, dog. Fair enough, you're desperate, but if she gets captured, that's it. Your hope is gone. She could come back for you at a later date, but you could have got her killed, and then you'd have had no hope at all. So that's kind of on you, dog. That's kind of stupid, dog. Don't know why you'd do that, but they did do that, and they're idiots, and I'm gonna stand by that. So keep going. They also they just had humans play the robots. The robots didn't look that good until they had the shit beaten out of them, and then they just had silver goo spilling out of them. They had glowing blue eyes. They didn't really look scary. They didn't really look creepy. They were just humans, so it didn't really get the scare factor. They could have made them look more robotic, more sinister, more evil, but no, they just looked like a normal synthezoid. I think that's their name for a humanoid robot. I think that's what they called them in the movie. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But this movie was not one that was able to keep my attention. I did go on my phone quite a few times during this movie, and it just wasn't interesting. I could understand what was happening from editing a video on my phone. I knew what was happening going on in the background. This movie did not need my full attention for me to understand. And these two arguing all the time was so annoying and boring. They just had such a toxic relationship that they only stayed together because it was the end of the world. It is it is widowy, the epitome of I wouldn't date you if you were the last guy on Earth, but it's like, oh, you're the last guy on Earth, so I have to date you, and you're gonna be the dad, so I have to be with you. She literally said at the start of the movie, oh, I'm not even sure if I want to be with him, I want to break up with him. And then she spends literally the next 9 months with him because he helped her survive. That is literally it. She is only staying with him because of survival, and she needs him to help with the baby. And by the end of the movie, she's like, oh, I do actually love you. I'm so happy. Literally after halfway through the movie, she's like, oh, I hate you. I don't know why I'm still with you. I don't know why I didn't break up with you. Dog, that is incredibly fucking mean. That is incredibly fucking rude. This guy loves you wholeheartedly. He's trying his best. He may be fucking stupid, but he's trying his best, right? He's doing what he thinks is right, and you're shitting on him at every fucking turn. And he's just fucking taking it. He's literally just taking it. Fair enough, he's being a stupid male and saying, oh, you're hormonal. That is a fucking incredibly awful, insensitive thing to say. So I do agree with some of her frustration, but I also don't agree with others. She has every right to be angry that they got kicked out of the, place, out of the army, but he had every right to, he thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he could get them there. All he wanted was to save the family. All he wanted was to make sure that they were safe. All he wanted was to protect them and look out for them. And that's what he was trying to do. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, and then he got all the shit and flack for it, and that made her angry and hit him, and he just took it. He just took it. Which, you know what? Proud of you, dog. You're a champ. But you're also fucking stupid. This whole movie was stupid and pointless and not worth your time. So I do not recommend that you watch this movie. I probably won't watch this movie again. I regret watching this movie. I watched it because it's a Chloe Grace Ramirez video, and I quite like her movies most of the time. She was in Kick-Ass, and that was good. And she was in Wave 5, and that was quite good as well. So I am interested to see other of her movies, but this one just wasn't it. This one gets like a solid 4 out of 10 in my opinion, because it was just so lacking in everything. There was no suspense, there was no tension, there was no build up. Shit just happened, and you were expected to just sit there and watch. It was like a mindless turn your brain off movie, and I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was boring, and my brain turned off. Not in the way this movie intended for my brain to turn off. But yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow for the next review, and goodbye.